Right, this is Wanderlust, and this is about the Valour versus Halifax game at the IG Field. Valour nil, Halifax Wanderers nil. Another draw for the Halifax side, and another relatively strong performance away from home. Relatively, we didn't hiccup at the half. We didn't score either, but Valor's defense was pretty strong all around. At the same time, our finishing kind of let us down. It's not like we weren't creating chances. Timoteo, Daniels, and James were definitely strong on that. And Caligari was his usual self. And actually, I should have Campagna over here. Let me amend that right away. Nimic and Campagna were leading the defensive. Were like absolute bosses in defense. These center backs kept Valour on the zero side as well. They dealt with Novak. They dealt with Valor's Novak really well. And I saw Novak and I figured, oh, this motherfucker, this guy is scoring. And I was wrong. We kept him quiet until he had to be subbed off. And then we dealt with Ponce, which was a little easier to deal with than Novak. It was really impressive. So, not really as much to talk about, even though it wasn't a boring game. It was a 0-0 where both goalkeepers were pretty good. Fillion was good. He probably could have dealt with things a little better, but Nimic and Campagna dealt with things even when he couldn't. As for Valour, Yesley was pretty strong and definitely showed that he deserves to replace Sirois, who had gone on to CF Montreal. Yeah, so I believe that's where he's. Yes, CF Montreal. It's either CF Montreal or Vancouver, one of the Canadian MLS teams that is in Toronto. The first half, it was mainly Valour being the better side and us just hanging on defensively. Nimic and Campagna were really good in that, and Fillion, when he was called on, did pretty well there. It's just that Novak had an easier time getting to the box than he probably should have. Second half, we had a much stronger defensive shape. Valour were definitely trying to get in and keep getting in, and we were way readier for that than we were in the first half. And that's what leads to a 0-0. I think Geyser's sub timings were pretty good. The only performance I thought was poor, as displayed on the lower right, was Watson. And even then, it's not like Watson can't be arsed or Watson's crap in general. I think Watson just needs some time to grow into the league, and eventually he'll come good. I honestly think he's worth keeping for a while, even if he struggled here. Quite frankly, this is hopeful. We have another away game in a week against Cavalry, another team that has drawn every one of their games this season, and whenever they've scored, have given one up. That's going to be interesting. Who is it that will break their record of that? Will either team break their record? I guess we'll see in a week. Well, until then, up those wonderful Blues.